Hello and welcome to the Nova Show Real Estate Records. My name is Tristan Hammett and I'm your host for today's episode. And today we have Linda Burtch. Linda is a top 500 realtor here in Utah with deep roots in the Salt Lake area, especially around Sugar House. Since launching her real estate career back in 2008, she has built her success on referrals, community connections, and her dedication to creating an incredible experience for every client. When she's not closing deals, you'll find her rock climbing or exploring Utah's outdoors with her family. Let's get into her story and hear how she's made such an impact. Hello and welcome, Linda.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so excited to have you here. I don't know Linda, so we're going to get to know her together. So Linda, let's start from the beginning. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? And how did you get into the real estate world?
Yeah, so I was originally born in Boulder, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. And my dad took a job here at the University of Utah back in 1985. That's now going to age me for everybody that can do basic math. But I've lived here the majority of my life, and I grew up in the Sugar House area. And really what inspired me to get into real estate was I come from a service industry background. I worked in restaurants and bars from the time I could get a job at 14 until I was about 25. And I realized that in that industry, no one promotes you to owner. Like there's not a lot of upward mobility in that industry.
Right.
And I have always been really interested in architecture and just like the history of buildings, especially downtown Salt Lake City. And I looked into getting into architecture and found that at that point in 2008, a lot of architecture was no longer drafting and design like on paper. It was all CAD. And I really wasn't interested in getting into a field that was just computers. I wanted to be around people and surrounded by people. So I went to real estate school.
Okay. Wow. So you kind of figured that out, sounds like pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably one of the worst times to get licensed as a real estate agent.
2008.
Yeah. So I figured if I could make it then, if I could learn how to sell real estate in a really difficult time, historically difficult, that I would be kind of set. And so I did.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so how long, so before we started recording, you've been at the same brokerage. That's kind of like unheard of, honestly.
I mean, maybe it's just because I'm lazy or like don't want to go through the rebranding process because I've already had to do that in changing my name. But I really love the company that I'm with, and I started there, and they've continued to grow with me, and so I've stayed there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's working and you have all of the support and accountability and everything that you need and the tools, I mean, why not? Yeah. I was very impressed because that does not happen.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the old adage, like if it isn't broke, don't fix it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm surrounded by agents that continue to grow and challenge me, and there's always something new to learn, and the clientele is always different, and the market is always different. So why would I need to change just one more thing?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, and so take us back to 2008 because that was a wild time. We bought our house in 2009. So 2008, 2009, 2010 wasn't all that great. So what was your niche? Were you doing short sales? Or were you still doing, I mean, people are still buying and selling. So what were you seeing back then?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So because I was coming from the service industry, you're best equipped to help the people that are like you, right? So I saw that there was this huge gap in home ownership between people that were W-2 salaried and people that worked in the service industry. You don't really qualify very well when you're making $2.13 an hour.
Yeah.
And so my main focus was educating everyone I knew and really cared about on how they could get into a position to buy a home. So I worked for a long time as a buyer specialist, just trying to educate people that thought home ownership was so far out of their reach into getting into homes.
So at that time, I mean, because you were younger, had you been able to purchase a home coming out of the service industry at that time?
Not when I first started,
Okay.
But that was kind of the experiment, right? Like if I can get in and go from making $2.13 an hour to being a fully commissioned employee as a realtor, if I could buy a house, anyone could buy a house, right?
Yeah.
And so I really looked into a lot of creative financing. I bought my first home seller finance, and then I bought my second home as a short sale and put a lot of sweat equity and work into making it my own home. And then I kind of house hacked from there, and I taught a lot of my friends how to do that too.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you believe in real estate and the wealth that it can build.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it historically, owning real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So you tell us about, did you join a team when you first got into real estate?
So I have done a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I have worked as a solo agent. I've worked as a buyer specialist on a team. I have worked in a business partnership, and now I own a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but when you first got in, did you jump on a team or no?
Nope. I was
Solo.
a solo agent for
Okay.
the first 3 years I was in real estate.
Okay. I just think it's such a, like going in solo would be hard. It's a hard industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot to learn. Every single transaction is wildly different. I'm a big advocate for joining teams. I think they keep you accountable. You're learning from the conversations, from being around other people that are selling real estate. So I'm a big advocate for jumping on a team.
Yeah.
To learn the most that you can. And you're actually at a very great brokerage that has really great training.
Yeah.
So, and support for agents and like there's teams you can join, you can be solo and succeed. Like, so you do have like a wide range of agents over there.
Yeah. So I didn't join a team at first just because there were so many agents in my office that were willing to kind of help out, mentor, give me guidance in what I was doing by myself. And when I got to 2011, I was in the process of starting my family. I was pregnant with my daughter, and I realized that maybe having some accountability and a regular schedule would benefit me. And so I did. I partnered with another agent in my office, and he was focused a lot on the short sale industry at the time, and he had just more listings than he could handle and wasn't servicing buyer clients. And so I really got to dig deep into what it takes to help a buyer at a really high level, probably like the second and third year in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were kind of becoming a buyer specialist at that time. So tell us about your first deal. How did you get it?
Oh, my very first deal. One of my very best friends and her husband they were coming up on the end of their lease on their apartment downtown. And they, at the time, this was end of 2008, beginning of 2009, there were some incentives, first-time homebuyer incentives that the government was offering, and they were giving you $7,500 if you were a first-time homebuyer to get into a house, which then was a lot of money. It was a lot of money to get into a house, and so they just took the opportunity, and they were like, "Look, we'd rather have no one else help us than you, and we can all do this together." So it was a really sweet thought, they hung on to the house for 11 years. I just barely sold it for them a couple of years ago.
No way.
But yeah, it was just an opportunity and some really good friends that trusted me a whole lot.
Oh, that's great when, especially like for your first transaction, to do it with somebody that like is just literally giving you all the trust.
Yeah.
Hey, take the lead. We're trusting you. Here's what we want. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, how did you, about how many transactions? Because I want to talk about hard markets and when you're just getting in. Obviously, that was the market you knew. You didn't know any other market, you know? So it's like this is what you're learning. So how did you, how many transactions would you say you did that first year?
Oh, that first year I probably only did 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're talking if you remember back then, the average home price was $100,000.
Yeah.
It was not a lot of money. And so I was
78.
still I was still bartending on the side and selling real estate and trying to figure out how to be a new mom. Everything was a little bit crazy those first couple of years. Yeah. And really, I think what it took was consistency. It's time over task over time. And so I just really made a good effort to stay connected with the people that I knew really cared about me and I really cared about them. And just really making sure that everyone out there at a probably annoying level knew that I sold real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't, if you want to sell real estate, you have to tell your friends and family.
Well, and the attrition rate, most people get into this business and then they get out really quickly. And so it took a couple of years for people being like, "Oh, are you still selling real estate? How's that going?" And finally, year 3, year 4, people were like, "Oh, she means this. She's really going to go do this for real as a career forever."
Yeah.
So it took a while.
Yeah.
And it was just the trust in knowing I'm doing the right things. I'm making sure to add value to the people that trust me. And eventually it's going to pay off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so when do you feel like things really, whatever took off means for you, because it's something different for everyone, but when do you feel like your real estate business, you're like, okay, like this, I'm doing it, I'm hitting my goals, I'm,
It was probably 2012.
Okay.
The market had started to recover and it was a little bit easier. It was a pretty heavy buyer's market. And so as a buyer specialist, I was really busy at the time. And at the same time, the market was shifting and short sales were kind of going away. And for me, it just seemed like business as usual. I was happy, I was busy. And my team lead at the time had come to me and he said, hey, look, I'm going to have to let you go. And I was like, why? Like, everything's so good. Like, we're closing. And he's like, yeah, you're closing more deals than I am. Like, you should not be on my team. You should go be a solo agent.
So he was
You
like
can do
letting you
this.
go for like,
Yeah.
here, spread your wings.
He
and
did me
fly.
such a huge favor. And like at the time I was devastated. I was like, what did I do wrong? And like, I'm so insecure about how I'm going to go out and do this on my own. But he really did me probably the biggest favor of my whole life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I didn't see that story going that way.
Yeah.
I was like,
not
oh,
a lot of people do. They're like, wait, you
Yeah.
got fired? And I'm like, well, you didn't get fired. I got told I was too good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. He must be a really great man.
He's a really great guy.
Yeah. Ah, that's awesome. Okay. So, what through those like years of this market shifting, right? And then you've gone through it, I'm sure, a few more times of buyer market, seller market. I mean, 2020, all of these things we've had since then. Like, what keeps you going? And how do you stay consistent? And how do you pivot when there's shifts?
Yeah. So it's been kind of a wild ride because from 2014 all the way through 2020 was kind of just like order taking, right? Like everyone wanted to buy, and it was a wild time to be in a seller's market with buyers where it was like, you just have to get into what you can get into, like just get your foot in the door. And then in 2022, when rates shifted and everything kind of slowed down a little bit, for me, it was like a little bit of a welcome pause. I know a lot of other agents and a lot of agents that have been in the business less than 10 years were like, what is happening? This is so wild. For me, it was like, this is all part of the cycle. Like it was getting to the point, especially in 2020 and 2021, where it was like, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't spend time with my family because you have to get the deals while the deals are there. It's not a really sustainable way to live your life.
Right.
And so market shifts happen not only because it's the health of the market and it's got to reset in some way, and people have to be able to slow down and find a way in or a way out. But like, you got to look at the long-term picture and be grateful for, when the good times are good, that's amazing. And when it's harder, like it's an opportunity for you to sharpen your skills and to really become a better version of yourself.
And how would you, what advice would you give to somebody to sharpen skills?
I mean, go back to basics, right? Like there's a million different books and resources out there about how to build rapport, how to sharpen your sales skills, how to be a better person. I mean, if you're not continually learning and trying to improve yourself, then you got to think about what you are doing, which is being complacent and falling behind.
Yeah.
So my best advice would be work on yourself. Like it all starts with yourself first, and then you're going to attract the people that you want to help by becoming a better version of you.
I love that advice because no one's going to be okay if you're not okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't save anybody else unless you're looking out for yourself first, right? It's like the oxygen mask on the airplane.
That's so true. What is one of your favorite, let's do 2 books, like your favorite real estate book?
Oh gosh, my favorite real estate book. Reading Hold really changed my life. Like
Reading
the idea,
Hold?
the book is called Hold.
Oh, okay.
But it talks about investment strategy and how to become a real estate investor. And that book shifted my perspective. I flipped houses for a long time, and it's risky, and it's especially risky when the market shifts to get into a flip. And I was just kind of tired of buying houses, fixing them up, and then selling them. And I found myself kind of reminiscing like, well, I should have just kept it. I should have just kept it as a rental. And so reading a book that really broke down the strategy on how to become a successful real estate investor shifted the way that I thought, and I started looking for properties that I could buy and hold long term to continue building my wealth.
Gotcha. Okay, so how can I ask how many doors do you have?
Right now, I'm in the transition of going from horizontal investing, which is like many homes in an area, into vertical investing, which is more development or building one building that has many units in it.
Oh.
So back in 2020 and 2021, at kind of the peak of the craziness of the market, I sold off 6 different properties that I had, and I put them all into a downtown property on the North Temple corridor, and we're building an apartment complex.
That is so rad.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. So how many units will be in there?
So there will be 40 units in the apartment building. I still have a local rental here, and then I have a wellness retreat in Washington State, and then I have an investment property in California.
Wow. Where in California?
It's just outside of Temecula, and it's called Murrieta.
Okay. I drive through Temecula.
Yeah, it's a wine country.
Okay. Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, you walk the walk. Yeah.
I feel like if you're in this industry and you can't speak to what you know, then you're probably doing your clients a disservice. And so I wanted to make sure that I was not only educated in what I was doing, but that I could put my money where my mouth was.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage that you have because I'm sure you've learned a lot of hard lessons through some of the things that you've purchased maybe, or, things that you wouldn't do again, things that you absolutely would do again. Yeah. So that's a helpful tool and knowledge that you have.
Yeah, well, and it's helped in a lot of cases where I have clients looking to explore similar avenues. And I'm like, well, what's your experience been? And what would you do differently if you could do it again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Because that's really cool.
Thanks.
It's like a dream.
It doesn't have to be a dream. There's a way to do it.
So are you doing that is there business partners on there or?
Yep. I have some business partners that are invested in that project with me. I have business partners on the retreat center in Washington. It again ties back to that whole idea of wealth and wellness, right? Like you can't take care of other people or teach other people unless you're willing to work on yourself. And I have an incredible partner in Washington that lives on the retreat center and is a yoga therapist. And so we definitely have some big plans and some big dreams there just to make sure that we're in front of people and helping other people become their best selves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what about the apartment complex?
The apartment complex, I have partners down there too. And that's just industry partners throughout the years that we all kind of had the same idea and wanted to go the same direction. And so we all got together and decided to jump in together.
That's so cool. I was actually just at a lunch with a friend and we were talking about flips because that's how he started off in his business. And I never even thought about it this way, but he was like, when you're doing flips, that's your money out of your pocket that you could potentially lose. And he's like, it's scary.
Yes.
He's like, when I'm a realtor, he's like, it's maybe a deal falls through and I'm not getting that commission. He's like, but it's not money out of my pocket,
Sure.
And I had never looked at it that way. Would you still flip homes?
I'm actually in the process of flipping one right now. It's the first one I've done in over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
It was an incredible opportunity that got put in front of myself and my partner on the project, who is my general contractor. And I was really nervous. I was really nervous.
Yeah, because
I've learned a lot over the years.
Housing prices are higher.
They're higher. You stand to lose a lot more if you make a mistake. And really, I'm not in the business of doing something that's not quality work. I want to make sure that the next owner of this property gets into something that they're proud of and that they can say with full confidence they bought a good home. And that also requires a lot more upfront work because what if you run into something that's going to be monumentally more expensive than you initially planned? Like you said, it's your own money. It's not somebody else's money.
Yeah.
It's risky. And so it took a lot of faith and it took a lot of trust for me to say yes to this deal. And I'm really, really excited about it.
Where is it?
It's in Holiday. It's in North Holiday. It's kind of over by Skyline High School.
Okay.
And it's going to be really beautiful.
Are you posting about it on social media?
We are.
You are? Okay, I'm going to have to follow along.
Yeah.
And I'll have to follow along and see the progress of the home.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is it are you doing a full gut?
We took it down to the studs. Yeah.
Did you?
So it's new everything.
So exciting. Congratulations again. That's cool. Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm going to assume yes, but it sounds like making these connections with other agents and building relationships with other agents has been beneficial in your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a funny industry because it's like your coworkers are also your competitors, but it's really not, right? Like we all work in the same industry and in theory we're competing, but there's enough business for everyone. So really the more we can collaborate and the more we can get to know other people in this industry and how they work and what they're doing and what their strategies are and the why behind their strategies, the better we all are, right? Like this industry really deserves to have a better reputation than it does. And the more we can work together and the more we can all be, all rooting for the same direction to bring the industry up, I think the better it will be for everybody, the consumers, our agents, the ancillary businesses that we work with. I mean, it's a big deal to have an industry that has such an incredibly poor reputation, to not think bigger than that and think about how could we work together? How could we collaborate to make it a better experience for everybody?
Yeah, the end goal here is we want to close and for both of our clients to be happy,
Yeah, I mean, the end goal is home ownership, right? Like we want to help people through the largest, most important transaction of their entire lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite part of being in real estate?
My favorite part's the people.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's a boring industry if you're really focused on doing the same things time over task over time. But the people are what make it interesting. No transaction's the same. No people are the same. No people's motivation is the same. Like people are all getting into this industry for very different reasons. And it's really fun and refreshing in a kind of repetitive sales environment to get to have that piece that's always changing.
Yeah. So you used to be like a buyer specialist. Where do you see yourself now? Is it still buyer heavy or listing or kind of 50-50 or?
So now I own a team. So I have a group of agents that work with me that mostly handle the buyer side, the buyer division of our business. Okay. And I still take buyers, right? I still service my long-term clientele. But I'm more focused on the listing side and on the development side, like the investor side of things. I work with clientele that more often than not, it's not their first home purchase or their first home sale. And then my team gets to do all the fun, exciting stuff, which is, the first time buyers and all the really like happy celebratory stuff. Yeah. And every once in a while I get a little FOMO and jump back in and help.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, when did you start your team? And this is actually, I've heard this question quite a bit from other agents that might be thinking about starting a team.
Yeah.
Like, when do you know you need a team and what would be your first hire?
So when do you know you need a team? There is a point that you get to where you experience some pretty significant burnout. So it's going to be different for everybody. For me, it was when I noticed that I didn't have enough time to spend with my family. And that's really important to me. And I really wanted to make sure that I had working hours and not like whenever I'm awake hours.
Yeah.
And so that was when it was kind of important for me to start building a team. I took my time building a team because I wanted to make sure that we had the right people and we had the right culture and the right fit and the right vision and we were all going the same direction. But the first hire you should always make is an assistant, like an admin assistant.
Okay.
In this industry, we build a lot of really personal connections with our clientele, and that should be our main focus. And so all of the paperwork and all of the back end kind of coordinating stuff, if I could get that off my plate, I could increase my business production by about 4 times what I was doing by having an assistant handling all of that.
Okay, so this assistant, were they also your transaction coordinator?
She is, yeah. She's my transaction
she's
coordinator.
Been with you for like 11 years?
She's been with me for over a decade.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so she's a TC and also like what kind of admin work was she?
So now she's strictly a transaction coordinator. My husband actually left his corporate job back in 2021, and he's our director of operations.
Oh, cool.
So he does the finances, he does the marketing, he does all of the logistical planning for all of our team events and all of our client appreciation stuff that we do. So at some point, that first hire becomes 2 different jobs. So for the first many years, she was doing all of that. And then we got to a point when we brought other agents on that we needed to divide that one job into 2 separate jobs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because the transaction coordinator job, it's a lot.
It's a
And
lot.
when you're building, when you have more agents, it's more work.
She's like by far and away the most organized person I know. And she knows every detail of every single transaction, every date, every like cross the T, dot the I. She's incredible. And I don't know how she does what she does because it's not my skill set.
Yeah.
I'm like a squirrel.
Same. Oh, that's okay. Have you done the disc?
Yeah.
Did she do the disc?
Yeah. So she and my husband function really on the same side of the disc profile. They're both SCs. They're very detail oriented. They're very much like, let me work behind a computer and not talk to anybody kind of people, personality types. And the rest of us, the agents on the team are like a bunch of ferrets running around. Like it is wild. We'd much rather be in front of people and talking and making relationships. And like they ask us, like the admin team will ask us like, hey, we need this. And we're like, oh, I didn't even realize that we were missing that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just our personalities though. We're supposed to be like, we're people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so you got to find someone that really balances out, like fits in your wheelhouse as far as your culture and your personality style and how you like to run your business. But they also have to be, their strengths have to be on the other side where your weaknesses are. And that's kind of the secret, is finding someone that you get along with really well that has your opposite skill set.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you provide as a team leader to your team?
We provide all of their marketing. So they have buyer packets, seller packets, the marketing that continues to go out to their database throughout the year. We do large-scale client events. We cover all of their social media costs. We cover supplies. We cover office. It's really like when you break down the costs of running a real estate business, if you're running a very lean business, you're maybe taking home somewhere between 40 and 60% of what you're actually making. And then that's before taxes. So then take another 30% out of that. Like you're living off of basically 30% of what you make, which I think is a common misconception. Like a lot of people feel like real estate agents are overpaid, right? And the reality is the average real estate agent is making like $30,000 a year. Like it's not a lot of money.
Right.
And so when you join a team, you get that 60% of costs kind of taken off your plate and the team handles that for you. So what you take home is truly your take home pay.
Okay.
Which that's the benefit of being on a team, is you could live off 30%, or if you're on a team, for example, you could live off 50%. Like I'll take a 20% pay raise.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Wow. Okay. When I kind of want to like rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
But before when you were on teams, did you ever like cold call?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How was that?
You know, I really liked calling for sale by owners. I find them very interesting. I feel like taking on a second full-time job while you work a full-time job is like, I just want to know why.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun calling
never
for
looked
sale
at it
by
like
owners.
that.
Yeah, well, because like that's what I do full time, and I'm calling you, and you're like at home trying to sell your house and do whatever job you do during the day. So like, talk to me about why you would want to take on another full-time job. That sounds really hard.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun calling for sale by owners and just going over and like walking through people's houses and seeing like what they thought they were worth or how they thought they were marketing their house to the best of their ability. So those were really most of the cold calls that I made. And I did a ton of open houses, like a ton of open houses.
Okay.
And just the idea of people walking in and coming to you was really exciting for me, because like, you know, you get people that sometimes they're like, oh, I'm just a neighbor, I just came to walk through. But most of the time they're people that are like, no, I'm genuinely here to buy a house, and it might not be this one, but I need help.
So do you, how do you feel like open houses and cold calling was kind of what also got like the ball rolling with transactions?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. But I was just fortunate enough with the time I had spent in the service industry. Like I just know a lot of people. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And then, so we talked about your first transaction earlier, and you said 11 years later, they called you to sell it.
Yeah.
So how did you stay in front of them and in touch with them for 11 years?
Yeah, I mean, they're friends.
Yeah.
So like we would talk really regularly, and I had no idea that they were considering making a move. And they just called me out of the blue one day, and they were like, listen, we're splitting up, and like he's moving away and she's staying here. And it was totally amicable. It wasn't sad. They had just kind of grown apart, and they were like, you helped us into this house, but we don't have any idea how to get out. Can you come help us again?
Oh, yeah.
So it was bittersweet, but it was a very sweet sentiment that many years later, they came back to me and said, hey, would you do this again for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about staying in front of like your past clients and your friends, which I'm sure like friends and family is like seems more authentic, right? Because you talk to them all the time. But I'm going to change this question because there's a lot of agents that get stuck on the reaching out to their friends and family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, I feel like if I was an agent, I'd be like, oh my gosh, guess what? I got my real estate license. I would totally like shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
So,
but then what does the second call look like?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Right? Like that first call is super easy. Like, hey,
Yeah.
guess what? I got my real estate license and I'd love to help you or anyone you know.
Yeah.
But what do you
The second call.
the next time?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. And the trick really and truly is coming from a place of value.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could you teach them about the market, about their home, about their situation that would be valuable to them enough that they would see you as a resource when they need you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not car sales, right? Like, it's not high pressure sales. You're never going to talk somebody into buying or selling a house. People buy and sell a house when they need to.
Mm-hmm.
And until then, you're just there adding value and being a resource so that they feel comfortable enough to come to you when they do need you.
You couldn't have said it better. What are some of the things that you're like doing that are valuable?
So we hold a lot of really fun events. Most of our events have a charitable component. So we're always looking to give back to the community and make sure that our clients and our friends all know that that's an important thing to us, is making sure that not only are we showing them a good time, but we're giving back to the community that we live in.
I want to pause there real quick, because you're giving also your clients and your friends the opportunity to give back.
Yeah.
When a lot of people want to give back, but they're like, I don't have time to go do this or do
I
that,
don't know how, or how do I
or
pick an organization?
Right. So you're actually just like, that actually is enough right there, just helping them give back too, right?
Yeah.
And then you're creating memories with their families. Like the position that I'm in as a title rep, I get to go to so many events.
Yeah, but you don't get to participate anymore.
Well, I can bring my kids. Like I've gone to, Cowabunga Bay and the all the Halloween things, so, and I get to bring my kids. And so, but it creates memories. So for your clients, I mean, that's invaluable.
So that's engagement, right? Mm-hmm. Like you always have a reason to call and invite someone to a party.
Right.
That's a fun call. In July, the calls that we're making right now are about property taxes. So property tax notices get sent out in July. And we want to make sure that all of our clients are educated on how to read that form and how to dispute it if the county has their value wrong.
Oh, can you I don't know anything about this. Can you, without seeing one of them, what are you going through with them? Yeah.
So in July, the county starts sending out tax notices that show kind of what they're anticipating valuing your home at when they actually send out your tax bill. And you have an opportunity to look at what your home is actually worth. And the best way to do that is to reach out to your real estate agent. And if the value that your agent is showing you, the market is telling you how much your home is worth, if that value is less than what the county is assessing your value, you have an opportunity to appeal that and show the county hey, look, I've had a professional look at this. Here's the actual value of my home. It's not what you're saying it is. Because Utah is one of the last states in the nation that's a non-disclosure state. So the county doesn't have access. They don't really know how much your home is worth. And if they have it wrong, you could be overpaying.
Oh my goodness. That's huge. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's a big one.
I get the bill and I'm like, oh great, proposed fees, and I'm like, but I never even knew what I honestly, and I work at a title company, but I don't do that side. But I'm like, I always thought that assessed value was the land only.
No, they have a couple of different sections on there. So you have your land assessment for what they think your land is worth. And then they have your total value, what they're saying your home and your land is worth together. And that's what you get taxed on.
And if there's a big gap, you could be paying more in taxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very valuable.
Right?
Thank you for sharing
another
that.
one. And then obviously we love to reach out to people at the beginning of the year, just make sure they have all of their information they need to file their taxes. And then, just like little stuff in between. We've always got like a really fun reason to call and just like touch bases with our clients. Like, are you doing any home projects this year? Can I get you in touch with any service people? Do you have any questions about anything in real estate? Have you thought about buying a vacation home? Like, they're just finding out what your client's dreams are and then being able to be the person that they think of when they're like, oh, I need a thing. Like, who do I call? Like, you want to be that person.
Yeah. Or do you know any plumbers?
Yeah.
Or contractors,
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So I know your brokerage does the client events and you're talking about client events, but something you said kind of made me think that maybe do you do your own client events?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, so you're not doing your brokerage's client events. You have your
We do
personal ones.
those.
Oh, you do those.
We also have a couple that we do on our own.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kinds are those?
So in January, we do what's called our VIP client dinner. So any clients of ours that either bought and sold a home in the previous year or referred us clients, just sent us a name. They were like, hey, this person needs help. They all get invited to a really upscale, fancy dinner.
Oh my gosh. Like where's the location that you've been to?
It's different every year, but we did Cafe Melisse. They have a beautiful private room in their restaurant that we would rent out. And this last year we did 43 Bakery, and they closed down the entire bakery and did a 5-course progressive meal for all of our clients.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun event, and we always get clients that are like, it looks really fun. How do I get invited? I'm like, well, it's super easy. Just if you run across somebody that needs real estate help, just connect us.
Yeah. That is so neat. I love that you do your own individual ones. It's more intimate.
Yeah.
Because I've been to your brokerage and there's just a lot of people.
It's overwhelming.
I mean, it's fun.
We just did we did a carnival a few weeks ago, and there were like 1,000 people there.
Oh my gosh.
It was
Yeah, so
really
it's hard to make
overwhelming.
those connections with your client. I mean, you can say hi as you see them, but it's hard to like have that like one-on-one time.
Yeah. So those like the smaller kind of micro events are my favorite, and I don't think that we're ever going to go just to the brokerage events. We like to keep that little piece of it just being our clientele and being able to spend time with our people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. Thanks. Very cool. Okay, so what piece of advice would you have for buyers out there right now?
Interview your agent and make sure that they are selling real estate full time. This is a full time gig right now. It's not something you can do on the side. It's not something you can just do in your spare time. You want to make sure you're working with an agent that really knows the market really well and knows especially the market, the micro market that you're looking in. And then additionally, like, ask how they feel about the market. Like, there's a lot of different sentiment from agent to agent right now. There are a lot of agents that are like, ugh, this is the worst market ever. And there are a lot of other agents that are like, there's a huge amount of opportunity in the market right now. And your agent and how they feel about the market really is going to affect your transaction.
Yeah.
And right now I'm seeing a lot of opportunity, especially on the buyer side, because we're kind of past the peak of listing season. We're going into kind of late summer, fall months where there's a ton of opportunity for buyers to either get permanent rate buy downs or get money off of the price, whatever it may be. Like that, there's a huge opportunity if you're thinking about getting into real estate right now.
Okay, I love that answer. And I love that you said make sure that they're a full-time agent, because how does an agent know if they're doing it part-time and they're not on the MLS daily, they're not seeing the stats daily, if they're not seeing what's going on, how many days on the market are these homes, like what's going on? How are you going to advise anyone?
Right, and especially with the most important transaction you've ever made in your life.
Right.
Like the sad reality is the large majority of agents really only sell between like 3 and 5 homes a year. And that's not a large enough sample to understand what's happening in the market moment to moment. So a full-time agent that's really dedicated to what they're doing and has a great track record over time is going to be your best bet if you're really concerned about getting a good deal.
Yes. And what are you seeing right now for sellers? Because I know, well, you just said that we were at the peak of the listings, and we're
I mean, it's still a seller's market, right? Like when we look at market data, the inventory, the supply of inventory that we have is still less than what it should be. It's climbing, but it's still a really great opportunity to sell. Now, here's the caveat. The prettiest, best priced homes are selling.
Yeah.
And everything else is sitting. So get yourself an agent that understands what it takes to get your home absolutely ready to go to market and can explain to you pricing in a way that's going to cause your home to sell.
Yes, I've been hearing that with like, I have agents that have like really cute, unique, pretty homes. And then they also have listings that are like in the like 400s.
Yeah.
But they're sitting.
Yes.
And it's just like, and this one's 800,000 and this one's 400,000, but this one, the cheaper one's sitting.
Yeah.
And then this one has multiple offers.
Well, and that has a lot to do with affordability, right?
Yeah.
Like the first time home buyer price point right now with rates the way they are, it's tricky. Like I said, you got to get a good agent that understands like what's your payment goal and what does that look like when it translates into a purchase price. Mm-hmm. That price point is really hard. But you also have on the other end of the spectrum, you have homes that are like $900,000 plus that still have multiple offers on them. And it's just because most of that clientele is in a position where they can either put enough down that their monthly payment is not a big deal, or they're paying cash. And so it's like, I want the pretty house that I can afford and I don't really care about rates.
Yeah.
And so the market right now is different than what we saw in 2008, 2009, where it was a bunch of first-time home buyers that could get in and afford homes and like their interest rate was sub 4. That's a totally different ballgame. When you're looking at interest rates hanging out around 7, you got to find an agent that's savvy enough to understand what your goals are and help you get there.
Yeah. Oh, such great advice. Okay. Now, if you could go back to your new agent self, what piece of advice would you give her?
I would have told her to like take everyone else's advice and treat it like a job sooner.
Yeah.
Like I worked 2 jobs for way too long and I should have just gone all in and really focused on this. I think that I would have found a lot more results a lot faster had I done that sooner.
Well, there's fear.
There is. Yeah.
It's scary going to something that is just kind of unknown.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many ways. That's why I also love this podcast, because there's so many different ways to run your real estate business.
Yeah, they're all unique.
They're all unique, and it's so fun to learn how each one of you does it. You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's the beautiful part about this industry, and what works for some doesn't work for others. Or others are like crazy good at cold calling, where I would not want to be cold calling, you know? I would love to sit at open houses, you know, like you were saying, you were doing tons of open houses. So I think that's just like the beautiful part of this industry. And
there's a spot for everyone, right? Just find what you're good at, find what really like lights you on fire, and go be the best at that.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I just keep coming up with questions. Another question. So for your team, is it a requirement that they are in the office like so many hours a week, or from this time to this time, or what does that structure look like?
So all of our team members, their goals are based on their goals.
Okay.
Right? So we sit down, we really get to know like what is their goal, what do they want to make, how do they want to get there, and then we build a plan around that. I'm very much not of the opinion that like time in the chair equals money in your pocket. I'm of the opinion that if you can come in and do what you're supposed to do, please go take the rest of the day off. If you're hitting your numbers and you're hitting your goals and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and finding success, great. I'm not going to micromanage your time.
Okay.
We do meet on a very regular basis, and we all are very much on the same page. We use a business tracker. We make sure that everyone's on goal. We have regular meetings with people to talk about how they're on goal or how they're off goal and how they could get back on track. And that's really the biggest thing, right? Mm-hmm. Like in this industry, you're not working a 9 to 5. More often than that, you're working a 5 to 9 plus weekends, right? Yeah. Like we're working when other people are not working. Mm-hmm. And so to tell somebody, hey, you're new to real estate and I need you to be in the office from 9 to 9 is an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
So we really work around like, what is your goal and how much money do you want to take home at the end of the day? And then break that down, reverse engineer it. And like, it's really kind of surprising how small the goals are when you break them down into daily tasks. Like we have a couple of agents on our team that they just have to call 10 people. They have to talk to 10 people every single day. And that's it. And sometimes it takes longer than you would think. Like you might need to call 40 people to get 10 people on the phone. But if you're committed to hitting that goal, the rest of the statistics show that you're probably going to hit your end goal if you're focused on those lead measures that are going to give you the results that you need on the back end.
Okay. And are they calling leads or are they calling like their SOI or both?
It's both.
It's both? Okay. So you provide leads?
We do provide some leads for our team, but because of the nature of the business itself, the business that I've created, it's largely based on repeat and referral business. So we really are focused on teaching our agents on how to build that same business.
Yes. I love that because ultimately that's the goal.
Yeah. Right? Like you could cold call people and maybe get like a transaction. And if you treat them really well, maybe they'll come back. But your biggest advocates and the people that want to see you succeed the most are the people that know, love, and trust you. Yeah. So why not lean into that?
Yes. That's beautiful. And what are some of your goals in the next 5-10 years? Personal, business, team?
Oh, goodness. I've got a teenage daughter right now that will be in college in 5 years. So 5 years is like, before it was really fun to be like, in 5 years, and now it's scary. I'm like, I'll have an adult child. So in 5 years, the hope is that we will still be running this awesome team. The goal is not to have a giant team. It's to have a lean, mean team that has some really big goals. So we're really committed to our people and making sure that our people succeed at a high level. But as far as personal goals, I love travel. And so the goal is to travel every quarter and go see as many new places as possible.
Wow.
That's the beauty about our industry is like, I could write an offer for you anywhere in the world and be able to represent you at a very, very high level without having to be tied to a desk.
Yeah. And especially when you have a team.
Yeah.
Like of people, that can go show houses and that's amazing.
So travel is a big one. My husband and I celebrate our 10th anniversary next May. So
congratulations.
We're going to go somewhere special together. And then just making sure that my kids really know how much they're loved and like creating really core memories with them. Cause like I said, I've got a teenage daughter and then my little guy is going to turn 8 this year. So I really have a limited amount of time left with little kids in my home and I'm just like soaking it up as much as I can.
Oh, well, you're doing a great job. And I love that traveling once a quarter is one of your goals.
Yeah. You got to go have fun.
Yeah.
Why would you work as hard as we do if you're not going to go enjoy yourself?
Yeah. We always talk about like for our future. But right now, your son is 8.
Yeah.
Your daughter's 14.
They only get to be these ages once. And none of us are really promised tomorrow. So why not just go and like, if you have an idea or a dream or something that you want to do, like write it down and go make a plan to go do it.
I love that. Do you reverse engineer your goals?
We do. Yeah. So that it kind of starts with me, right? Because I'm not going to be able to scale out or figure out if we need to hire somebody else if I don't have an idea of what my own goal is.
Yeah.
And so that's how, because our agents are focused on their own goals, I not only have to have a goal that's bigger than theirs so that my goal kind of encompasses all of their goals. But if their goals aren't big enough to fit into my plan, I have to figure out who I need to hire and what that needs to look like too.
Wow. Well, it's been so amazing talking to you, Linda.
Thank you.
Where can people follow you?
So we're on Instagram. It's at Abode SLC, and that stands for a beautiful owned dwelling for everyone.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. And then you have a podcast. We were talking about this before.
Yeah, so we're on YouTube also. It's Abode SLC.
Okay, perfect. So go give Linda a follow and listen. And thank you so much for all the great advice you've given today.
Thank you for having me.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
So it was really great getting to know you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.